side. Either believe that I don't feel the ground. No, I don't feel the ground. But I'm feeling right. I tell you what it's all about. Cause you make me feel this way. It's kinda like, oh, you make me feel and believe in me. I look away from time, all alone right now. Wanna lay with you all night, feel your body next to mine. Boy, I need you now. Wanna leave, I just wanna be here right beside. You make me feel and believe that we in bed die. I don't feel the
about snatching her up dirty, making them blind. Look at her hips, look at her legs, ain't she stacked? I so wouldn't mind hitting that from the back. I like it when I pick her cause she moan a little bit. Ain't sagging so I can see her thong a little bit. I know you grown a little bit, 20 years old, you legal. Don't trip off my people, just hop in the Regal. I swoop on her like an eagle, swoop down on the break. I know you popular, but you gon' be turny.
Work, 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 work. You see me heavy work, 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 work. You see me do me dirt, 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 dirt. There's something about that work, 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 work. When you walk a line, 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 line. I'm in the cafe, my ta, 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 ta. Drive me a dessert. No time to have you lurking. If I go back, now you don't like it. You know I dealt with you the nicest. Nobody touched me in the righteous. Nobody text me in a crisis. I believed all of your dreams are duration. You took my heart, all my keys, and my patience. You took my heart, all my sleep, a decoration. You mistake you my love, I brought for you for foundation. All that I wanted from you was to give me something that I never had, something that you never seen, something that you never been. But I wake up and nothing's wrong. Just get ready for work, 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 work. You see me happy work, 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 work. You see me do me dirt, 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 dirt. There's something about that work, 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 work. Feelings, so deep in the feelings. No, this ain't really like me. Can't control my anxiety. Feeling like I'm touching the ceiling. When I'm with you, I can't breathe. Boy, you do something to me. Ooh, I'll never get over you until I find something to get me
overboard. I want you to ride.
Clap along if you feel like home without a roof. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth. Clap along if you know happiness is for you. Clap along if you feel like that's what you want to do. If I'm bad news, talking this and that, give me all you got and don't hold it back. I can try to warn you, I'll be just fine. No offense to you, don't get your time. It work.
Roll on, I know shorty and she doesn't want no slow song. Had a man last year, life goes on. Haven't let the thing loose, girl, in so long. You been inside, know you like to lay low. I've been peeping what you bringing to the table. Working hard, girl, everything paid for. First lane phone bill, car, no cable. Push your phone out, gotta hit them angles. Push your phone out, snapping like you Fable. Ain't showing off, but it's alright. It's alright, 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 it's alright.
Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah. Wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, baby, wobble, yeah.
Got them shaking their booties like Congo fan. I'm shaking the city like quake. Haters blowing the face like Gonzo. Cause I'm making the cake, so let's play. I'm taking the game's mine. Y'all witness the change, it's my turn.
In that mode.
Good evening, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me fine. Let me know if you can hear me fine. Hey, Juicy. Hello, Juicy. Hey, everybody. It is so good to see y'all. So good. Thank you for being here. It's your girl, Kim Show. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you for your assistance. Thank you. Shout out to everybody in the room. Thank you. Are making our way back on a consistent basis every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. Shout out to you all for coming through. I was speaking to you all in the chat as you heard the dope sounds of Agent 94 Productions. Um, yeah, I saw you, Leroy, said Anita, this is Drake too. But shout out to you all. I really appreciate you all being here. Let me go. Let me go. My mod squad. Oh my goodness. I see you all. Fran, Stirs, D Soul, Brown Eyes. Part of my mod squad is in the building. Thank you for being here. Tita. Hey Sissy. Hello. Hello. Libra Brown. I know you're not gonna behave, but we're gonna try, right? We're gonna try. Edge, good to see you. Good to see you. Mike City, my fam, the best lady, my sis. You all are so dope. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. So tonight, first of all, let me go ahead and get this up here. Where's Brown Eyes? Where's Brown Eyes? Where is she? Let me go ahead and get this up here. Well, everybody, welcome Brown Eyes to Team Dopeness. Welcome Brown Eyes 1030 to the team. Thank you, sis. It is a honor for you to be a part of Team Dopeness. Um, we look forward to working with you. You have supported us, unconditionally on and off screen, and a dope VIP, you and Best Lady. So thank you for uh, being a part of Team Dopeness. So everybody, welcome Brown Eyes 1030 to Team Dopeness. Who did what? Who has done what now? Leroy, of course. Of course, it's Leroy. Of course. Look, what can you be a Team Dopeness mascot? What would you do? Tell me what you would do, Leroy, if you were a Team Dopeness mascot. Please tell me. Anyway, we're gonna keep it.
You're not doing
We're gonna keep
it. You're not doing
Asia over here talking about we're not doing it. Um, Tonight we're gonna talk about something that is has come up a lot lately. And that's gossip, the chatterbox. Um, and we have our special guest, Samuel Kisner II. He has been on our show before. He is a licensed therapist. I will allow him to come on and do his bio in a few moments. But gossip, the chatterbox. Um, as I put in my post today, gossiping can really um, make someone either choose to live or die, depending on how it affects them. Gossip doesn't affect everybody the same, but when it is toxic and it is untruth, it is slander, it becomes to the point where people choose to take their lives over things like that. So we're going to discuss in depth about the chatterbox gossip and how it um, affects your mental health and possibly others' mental health. So what we're going to do is bring up Mr. Kisner to the stage. Hello.
Hey, good evening. Good evening. How
Good
you
to
doing?
see you again.
It's good to be here. Thanks for having me back. I
Oh,
appreciate it.
Austin, always, always.
It's been a minute.
I appreciate it's your girl Kim show. Your sister, she jumped right on it. So shout out, kudos to her.
Yeah, big up,
Um,
big up. Yeah, and I
oh
apologize.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Roz. Before we get started, one of our VIPs had a birthday recently. So can everybody put hearts in the chat and say happy birthday to the best lady? She had a birthday recently. Hey, Roz. Hello, sis. How are you? Um, so I thought about you when I actually with this topic because I feel like it was very important to have um, a clinical therapist on here um, that could speak to this particular topic. Um, it has become across my path. Um, I've had to deal with it. I am just because of the profession that you and I both are in, I know how to navigate through it. Where
Right.
other people, I have clients that are struggling with workplace gossip, family gossip, um, just all around Twitch gossip. Um, and it affects them. Some it affects more than others. So I wanted to kind of just do a little deep dive into gossiping and how it can affect your mental health. Some of the research that I pulled, that gossiping can bring on exhaustion, anxiety, or depression. Um, Experts also warn that gossiping can cause long-term physical and mental issues like panic attacks, guilt, and in extreme cases, post-traumatic stress disorder. So I wanted to, just kind of shed some light on that. What are your thoughts?
No, again, first of all, thank you for having me back. I appreciate the opportunity to be here, and I do apologize for being a little late. I
You
just
know,
kind of wrapped up a session. So, but no,
yes.
when I saw this topic, I was like, man, I was excited because, and my sister knows this. She actually was kind of in charge of my Instagram account, and so I actually kind of took the reins over, and so I was able to dive into the IG kind of like world, right?
Hmm.
And there's a lot of stuff going on, and I'm not respectfully, I'm not going to just call anybody out, but there's a lot of different things going on, healthy and unhealthy. I'll say
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
And I really try to filter things to where it's more of the healthier things, but sometimes you catch some of the unhealthy stuff too as well. And so I check it out kind of just to kind of be in the know and see what's going on. Because like you said, people get caught up, especially with the social media, and not really understanding the power that social media has. And the reason why it's so powerful is because of the words.
Yes.
And I was just having some conversations with some clients today and actually last week just about um, words and how words have so much power. And then you couple that with technology.
Yes.
All right. And so then if you just go back to the words, man, have the ability to move nations, to move crowds. And I was sharing with a client, like if you just think about like an entertainer, for example, like I think like a comedian, it's one person on a stage. You think of the greats, man, they just move people to like laughter and just like it's amazing by their words. No forcing of anything. So when you talk about gossip, people know what they're doing when they gossip. Gossip is very intentional.
Hmm.
Right? It's not something you just kind of like you're like very malicious with it. And that's why it's extremely dangerous. And especially on the formats that most people interact with, and kind of getting back to what I was saying about Instagram, just seeing like how people's words are just like, man, they're just cutting like knives and like you said, unfortunately, like bullets,
Hmm.
and you mentioned something that was very, very important. You said some people are more resilient than others and can handle it. And you're exactly right, and it's unfortunate. And even some of those people who can handle it ain't handling it as well and so that's why I really think this topic is really, really important so that we understand first and foremost, man, our words, man, are really like, they're almost like magical, but they have power. The reason why I say they have power and not that they're powerful is because words do not become powerful till you add action to them.
Yes.
Right. So I think that's where kind of like the silver lining is with gossip is reminding yourself, hey, these are words. They are just words. Let me be mindful of maybe the action or the activity or the thought or the action I put, behind or after with these words. That's when they become powerful. And so, that's kind of like, my thoughts on the gossip piece, but like the words are really powerful. So we have to be very mindful of that fact. And people understand who are gossiping, they're very, like I said, intentional. They're picking on these people. It's just like bullying.
Exactly.
Same thing, in this day, man. I mean, just look at it. You can open up any of these formats, these platforms, and see the stuff that's going on. And we have to be very. I think I was watching something a couple of weeks ago, and we have to be like cautious. We have to consider these posts and things with caution.
Yes.
I'm not telling. I didn't like. I tell clients just like I'm sure you do. I don't tell people what to do. I just like give them a perspective.
That help navigate.
Yeah, like I'm not telling you what to do. It's like I'm suggesting maybe. It's like, but you don't have to take everything people say like to heart. And I know a lot of people are hurting, people are vulnerable, and I'm not dismissing that space that a lot of people are in and are looking for something. Just I'm asking people to be very cautious what they allow or where they allow themselves to be. When you're in a vulnerable state, be careful to where you pull up on social media and all like some of these rooms and these chatterboxes and the stuff people are saying, because that's energy. I don't care. Like you and I aren't in the same place, but guess what? You and I are sharing energy. And just like all the people who are signing on, I can't see it. I'm sure it's a lot. They're getting some energy from me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's another part we have to be mindful of. And that's what gossip is. It's energy. And unfortunately, it's extremely unhealthy, but it's also very intentional and targeted. And we have power. We don't have to allow ourselves to be in these spaces where gossip is like kind of the norm. We don't have to, those are things we can do. And I'm sure you're going to ask, we're going to talk about some ways we can do to avoid that. We have a lot more power than we give ourselves. We put ourselves in a lot of these spaces I get it, entertainment purposes at first, but guess what? If you're looking for something, that kind of becomes like almost like a vice. Or even more dangerously, an addiction.
Yes.
Right. And I think what you do when you go and start getting this gossip, you're looking for validation then.
That part.
Right. And then when you're not getting the validation, you're getting discouraged. You're getting hated on, for lack of better terms. You're being told how to look, how to dress, how to, your weight, your hair, your everything, like from people who don't even know who you are. And that's the dangerous part. We put a lot of people put a lot of worth into like these words that people are saying. That's why it's so dangerous. So we got to be careful. So it comes down to, I think, having conversations like this.
Absolutely. We're going to keep having conversations like this. It's like I said, we're in a state of oppression again, depression. I'm sure your caseload is sometimes overwhelming because that's just how many people come in with different type of issues. But what has come across my table is more so gossip, and it's coming in so many different forms, in so many different people that family, gossiping about another family member to other family members to outside people that are not even a part of the family, friends, thinking that they were friends, and next thing you know, oh, this person is saying this about you and they're saying that about you, and then that person is feeling like betrayed, and then here we go with another spiral of broken relationships on top of the gossip and the betrayal. So I think this is very much warranted. I see it daily. I see it on IG, like you said. I see it on Facebook, and I see it on Twitch. It's just real raw. Stern says words mean things, mean words do things. That is so cool. I love that. Mean words mean things. Mean words do things.
Right there. I mean, that's moving right there. Even hearing those words.
That is the movement. That's
what I'm saying. So he was very careful about that. See, that's a great example. He was very careful. Whoever made those right, he was very careful about putting those words together in a sentence and presenting it to us, and it got a feeling from us.
Yes.
That's what people are doing out here with that gossip thing, but in an unhealthy way, man. That's powerful stuff right there. Very powerful.
Miss Garcia says, protect your energy. Roz says, sometimes you have to take a break from social media. I've done it. I've taken a break from Twitch. I've taken a break from social media. I've taken a break from life, restore.
100%. You have to do that. You have to.
Yeah. We're just really coming back to Twitch because of that break that was needed during that time. It's your girl Kim Show said, before social media, there were blogs. And I remember years ago, an ex-friend of mine gossiped about me badly and put it on a blog. She changed my name, but folks who were in our inner circle knew it was me. It was very intentional and hurtful. luckily I knew how to navigate, because if I didn't, it would have made me do harm to myself. That is what the end result could possibly be, going through something like that.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like people fail to realize when they talk about people in such a manner to where it's toxic and just, destructful, um, they're not really understanding what they're doing to a person's mental.
Yeah.
Not only harming themselves, but harming others, harming the person that created the situation. This can go so many different ways when we're talking about this, but people just want to touch on the subject, on the surface of gossip. That person said something about somebody. It is not that bad. You
Yeah.
don't know that.
Yeah. I agree.
So
I totally agree.
um, it's important that we try to get that out there and continue to educate people who are in these inner circles, cliques, when they want to turn on someone or when they want to talk about someone, whether it's workplace, family, platforms. Be very, very careful. Um, Let me ask you this.
Mhm.
I've heard, well, I was just venting. What is the difference between venting and gossip?
Man, I feel like you had my last session bugged. Like, no, it's when we were talking about my client was talking about a venting session. So I would say venting is more of a expression of emotion, and to me, I feel like it's a very healthy way to do that if you have a sounding board that's worthy of that venting session. Now, gossip is definitely not that. Gossip is so okay. So let me go. I'm sorry. The venting is intentional as well. Like we said before, gossip has been very intentional as well too. But this intent is to hurt. Venting is its intention to like release and hopefully heal. Gossip is to hurt. Venting is to heal.
So what if someone says, "Well, I was just venting to that person," and then that person just turned and told this person, "I was just venting to this person. I wasn't gossiping. I was just venting."
Yeah. So then again, like I said, that's now that depends on the person. Now, if they are it depends on their intent, right? That's not really venting. Then if you're just releasing and talking about somebody, that's what that is. That's not a venting session. Venting is like, hey, I've got this ish going on that I got to get off and out.
Mm-hmm.
Not I got to tell you, oh, this tea about such and such, such and such. Those are two different places for me. Now, people can rationalize and call it what they want, but zebras don't change their stripes.
Mm.
Right. And so you know exactly what you're doing. You know when you're venting, you know when you're not. And so, that's how I feel about it from my professional standpoint or
I
perspective.
completely agree. Agent 94 says, gossip is bad because it disseminates information about others that is unwarranted, and a lot of times the person that is doing it doesn't feel the after effects of what is even said.
Yeah, I like that. It's divisive. I mean, it's very divisive in nature. It has a very divisive like component to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like you're speaking on other people's and that's a problem with it. You're speaking on someone else's whatever.
Right.
That's not at least I feel as though it's not our place to do that. And that's where people get caught up and why it's so ridiculous, because how are you even speaking on this place that is not where you don't belong?
Where you don't belong. That part.
Yeah, we don't belong there.
Oh yeah.
People don't understand that.
They don't. You got
to. They know they do. They choose not. And they don't. They do. They choose not to for whatever reason. And then they want to get mad when someone does it to them. I was like, well, look what you're doing. Like, we're perpetuating the cycle.
The cycle. Miss Garcia says you have to be careful who the receiver is as well, because they may confuse, from venting to gossip.
No, that's a great point, Miss Garcia. That's exactly what I totally agree. You got to be mindful of who you are. Number one, talking about your business with venting or otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I learned this a long time ago. One of my best friends, I went to college with. I went back to Dayton with him to get a haircut. And his barber at the time, young black business owner, man, just wise dude. And he was talking to us. He was like, fellas, like, he's like, always remember this. If you tell everybody your business, you don't have any business. And that's always stuck with me. And that's the one thing, man, like you got to be careful who you share your stuff with, because their intent may not be like healthy. They may have like malicious intent, and that energy may rub off on what you may be trying to do or are doing in your life via, you know, a post or via some, you know, what's the word I'm thinking of, just passive aggressive type way, you know what I'm saying? But it's still bad energy. And people wonder why like stuff sometimes may not pan out or work out. It's because look who you're telling look who you telling, sharing with.
Yes.
Look who's around you. They're not always like applauding.
Applauding.
They may be like really like plotting. So be careful, man. That's another thing. Be careful who you tell your stuff with. Who you like that person said. Be careful who you vent to, man. That's got to be an ear that you can really truly trust. That you have like a track record with, not just you just met off. You know, that's my BFF. No, somebody that's been through some stuff with you.
Yes, that is
really.
fact. That
you know,
is,
most of us, we ain't doing that. We just venting to like Instagram. We venting on into the world. Like, nah, man, the world ain't supposed to hear everything we got to say that's in our heads. Just no.
That is true. How many times have you felt some type of way and you go in and you want to just type up everything just to post it, and then you think about it and you just be like, you know what? Nope.
Yes.
It's gonna start a whole cycle into, what's going on with her?
Yeah, that part.
Posted this, and who did it? Let me dig a little bit deeper. You have those ones that got so much they try to dig deeper and investigate to figure out who it was and who the beef is with.
Exactly.
So it's not just the receiver and the person who's doing it. You got the middle person who's keeping it all going.
Yep.
You know, but saying, I trust you, you're my friend on this side, but you are my friend on this side. And so they're telling you what this person said, and then saying, I'm not going to say anything. And then they're telling this person, they're the ones that's keeping it going. And the issue is between here and here, not here. So
it's a vicious cycle you just described. Very vicious.
Yes. And you know, the mental effects behind this. I say this because I've had clients that don't want to live because they feel like they've been talked about so bad via family, friends, because family end up telling the friends end up telling the other friends, and then telling the outside world. And now this person can't walk around without people looking at them strange and not even hearing their side.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a, like you said, it's a vicious cycle that can end up having someone take their life. That's how far this can go. I looked at the impact, psychological effects of gossip. It says rumors, gossip, and fake news can make you feel helpless, angry, and very anxious.
Mm-hmm.
What are your feelings about as far as the impact psychologically?
I mean, you're nailing it right on the head. I mean, as far as like the anxiety, just feeling like you have to live up to a certain standard, like all the time. Like no one can live up to this stuff. I mean, depending on where you're getting it from, like, which I guess is the online platform, and most people online are fronting. Keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? Most people online aren't living like this way. You know, I mean, maybe a few are, but like that's just not the reality. So really, I can see it. It's very true. Like you're trying to, you know, present this certain way, and if you're not, it's going to make you feel nervous and anxious and like really unstable, and make it seem like you don't have things in order. Or really, if you really stop and pay attention, you got stuff going on. And if you don't, hey, let's make these adjustments. And use this, and use the energy in the appropriate way. See, like anxiety is energy. Yes. And when you're anxious, you're wasting energy. And that's why people are like tired, sleepy, depressed. They're not enjoying activities they used to enjoy. They're like not concentrating, you know, they feel lethargic, whatever. You know, it's because of when you're anxious, that's utilizing a lot of mental energy, emotional energy, and physical energy. All these things are connected. So that anxiety point is spot on.
Absolutely. Hey, Odell, welcome in. Welcome in. Trying to get back up here to my top. Yes. Agent says gossip, being the subject of rumors, can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. It creates a hostile environment and can contribute to a person's overall emotional distress. So, um, that is so true. That is so true. Number two, the effects on the brain. How does gossip affect the brain?
I promise you were in my sessions today. So we were talking about, listen, you know what we're talking about today? The topic for most of my sessions today were I talked about neuroplasticity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you're familiar with that. And if you're not, and the people who are viewing, please look it up. It's a phenomenal concept, but it's real. You talk about the actual like biological impacts of like you're talking about gossip and words. It really helps to shape like actual neural connections within our minds, right? Like the different synapses, like the different ways that we like feel and do things actually shapes our brains in certain ways. And so it really negatively impacts and creates negative neural pathways.
Mm-hmm.
This is not just therapy like words. And a lot of times people say, oh, you guys just talk. There's no real proof to stuff. Hey, this is actual medical proof.
It is.
It creates negative pathways neurologically. And so those are brain pathways. And so on the flip side, just like the negative ones can be created, healthy ones can be created as well.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's why it's important we talk about these things so we can recognize the impact, so we can actually come up with preventative measures or alternative healthy measures to, you know, avoid or to battle the gossip. You know, because our brains are impacted, whether you think it's not like, oh no, my brain's different. No, it is not. It is not. That's the one thing. Our brains do operate in the same way. They do. We just use them differently, and we exhibit and behave differently. But our brains have the very similar same functions. And so neuroplasticity goes across all ages, both genders, and it happens across a lifetime. So that's the biological impact that gossip has on our actual brains. And like I said, it's biological. It's not just, you know, something mental or emotional.
It is. Why people can't stop gossiping? Why not?
So we're creatures of habit, whether they're unhealthy or healthy habits. You know, we talk about the brain. There are certain places in the brain that fire off like pleasure, our pleasure zones. You know, we get these different hormones and things that are firing off, and we get addicted to it, whether it's something, like I said, unhealthy or not. And we get used to being in these spaces, whether it may be getting some attention from it or whatever we're getting from it. I think that's a big, strong part of it. It has like a hold, you know. And so then I think we talked earlier, the actual technical component, like the ease of access and getting on and touching and doing things, man. You can touch a bunch of people with just a stroke of a text. That's a lot of power, man. And it's real easy. It's like, you talk about a drug, accessing drugs, shoot, you can get that right now anytime you want. So that's very alluring, right? And tempting. And, you know, it's tough. It's tough to kind of like, if you're used to it, especially remember you just talked about how our brains start to develop these pathways. So you're just wired now to just keep doing it.
That is true. Actually, what you're saying, it produces the same chemical in the brain as sex.
There you go. 100%. There it is.
Yep.
So you know how powerful that is. You know, so
that's what it does.
Yep.
Psychology, why do we gossip?
So you may be lacking something in your life, right? You may need some attention. You want to be heard, right? Or maybe the way you are allowed to express is kind of like you have to, like, I guess maybe conform or suppress your true expression. So when you get a chance to kind of just get out there, you want to just do it, whether it's just a healthy or unhealthy way, because you haven't had a platform to do it. And so maybe this is the one way you can get your kind of like your rocks off, per se.
That is true. That is true.
Or hey, listen, you just like shit. Excuse my language. You just like drama.
That's it. You just like drama. just like our minds.
Unfortunately, there are really not good people in the
You're right.
world for whatever reason, because they choose it. You choose it. It's a choice.
It's a choice. It's a choice.
Choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
There says hot text on a platter. Really?
Yes.
Insecurities kill you, right? He said hot text on the platter. Oh my goodness.
That's fire.
That's mine right there. All right. Problems. It says, unfortunately, many people like to spread damaging information or intimate details about others, whether it's true or not. Hey, Liddell, hello, come on in. That right there has been the basis of a lot of what's going on is the truth or not. Whether it's the truth or not. It's not, like you said, it's nobody's business. Let's just put it front and center.
Yep.
It's no one's business whether it's true or not. But that's the problem. It violates trust.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like Kim. I've had a friend that I considered a friend, I thought was a friend, for years. But ended up finding out that this person was gossiping about me, and things that were being talked about were not true. In any, but like you said, it was okay, I need to be the center of attention. I need to, try to do this to shift this from over here to over here for my benefit. So it's being careful. A trust factor. It can really create a trust factor with people when it comes to gossip and knowing who they can talk to, who they can trust, and the words that are coming out of people's mouth, whether it was Roz, yes, it was. It was a jealousy factor. And that will create gossip as well. And also, you know that someone sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around mine. The view of social media. Just because people post something, you go in and people try to go in and dissect what is going on and what's being said. Yeah. I'm the type of person, if you want to know anything about me, if I choose to tell you, now that's if I choose to, because that's my prerogative. Come to me. Don't go ask A, B, C, D, E, F, G about me. Okay, I can tell you about me if I choose to. But yet, I've seen to where people take things and just break them down for bits and pieces, and then that telephone. You remember playing the telephone thing where you it's this statement, you whisper it into the next person's ear. That person has to whisper it in the next person. By the time you get down to the 10th person, it is nothing.
Yeah. I remember that. That's such a great activity.
And it works. And like, how did we go from saying it's a ball outside to something that's just totally it did not even match by the time it got down the line. Don't ask my neighbor upstairs. But so when we gossip, we fertilize our minds with toxicity and judgment. That's gonna be the next thing that we speak about. How do we avoid gossip? What are the steps to take to avoid gossip?
Well, I think the first step is you have to look on the inside. What's going on inside first within you. If you are a gossiper, like you actually acknowledge that, where does that start from? I think that's the first place. But I think another way we can avoid it is, within our own communities and social networks, try to build them on a more healthier foundation. Right. And then supporting those social networks, how we get together and gather, how we do sometimes, there's tends to be tension. Like, let's figure out why we had that, but let's collaborate and be more supportive as social networks, especially within our community.
Absolutely.
practicing self-care, that's a big one.
Yes.
Like we all, I mean, and most people, self-care, I mean, it's not just a buzz term, it's for real.
It's for real.
It's real talk, man.
I promote self-care into the fullest.
100%.
It is real.
Yeah, it's 100% real. And so I think that's another way to help battle gossiping, and then also maintaining just open, like real open communication, right? Not this, he said, she said stuff, kind of like what you were saying before. We go right directly to the source, right? And if we have some issue, if there's something going on, if you have a question per se about something, and if you are in that space, you can ask that, and I feel like I'm in space to answer it, then so be it. That's functional communication. And that's the difference between gossip, and just regular open communication. Gossip is communicating, it's a form, but it's not a functional form of communication. Right. It's a divisive form of communication. And so those are things I think you can do to battle or avoid gossip. Because gossip, like you were saying, it erodes the trust within our social networks and within our communities.
Yes, it does.
It does, man. It really does. And so we can do some things to stop that. But like I said, the first step I think is checking in with yourself. If you find yourself one of those people who's gossiping, man, like check it. And I'm not telling anybody to do nothing, but just check yourself. If you need to make an adjustment, make the healthier adjustment. If not, and you're doing it on the up and up, then keep it moving. But if you are that person, man, be honest with yourself and make those healthy adjustments so you aren't, a gossiper, and you are shifting the energy and those narratives in those spaces. Absolutely.
Agent says, unfortunately, gossip feels good, and the short-term rewards are often distract us from the fact that we know better.
Yep.
It makes us feel better about ourselves to know something about someone else and share that with others. Other times, speaking about personal faults of others makes it easier to overlook our own.
That part, and that's the part about it.
Yes.
That's the part when I'm talking about looking internally. Are you doing this because you're trying to feel better about yourself or your shortcomings because based on someone else's? Like, you wasting energy. Like, instead of you doing that, why don't you take that and focus in on, hey, maybe doing that internal work, like we said before, making those adjustments. So you wasting energy talking about somebody else's mess. Focus that energy on your mess and make the adjustments so you can clean it up.
That part.
Instead of being all messy. All right, instead of making a bigger mess.
Bigger
clean
mess.
It up, man. Let's clean it up, man. Clean it up.
It's your girl, Kim Joe said, maintaining boundaries. That's very key. Very key. So how to break the cycle, simply stop negativity in your conversations. And that's just what you said, Samuel, is stop it. Just check yourself. I always say lens check. Do a lens check, self-reflect, and find out what your issues may be.
I like that.
And change those things about yourself, because no one has a right to judge anyone in anything.
No, ma'am.
Right. It's your girl. You also have to ask yourself, does this information impact my life in any way? If not, leave it be. It's not your business.
Most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it doesn't.
It does not. So I pulled this that I want to read. It says, if I surround myself with negativity, toxicity, and gossip, I'm going to adapt to my surroundings, and that will become my new normal. If I surround myself with women and men who don't allow themselves to fall into that trap or get honest about falling short and can practice their internal self-compassion, I am able to grow to those ideals that have been set as the norm. Take personal inventory, and when we are wrong, promptly admit it. The 11th step goes on to provide us with morning intentions and nightly inventory. Were we resentful? Were we selfish, dishonest, or afraid? It's self-reflecting. And this is something that should be done every day. We're not perfect. We're not going to be perfect. Okay. In this world that we live in. However, we do not have the right. You can do it if you want to. It's not going to change things. Yeah. But we don't have the right to judge anyone. Again, you don't know how that could possibly impact that person's life moving forward.
Mm.
Rod says, yes, I think that's why reality shows are so popular. People like to see others miserable and gossiping about it.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about what I just read?
I definitely agree with um, all the points that were brought up. It's just that I was thinking, these are choices,
Mhm.
that we're making. And I remember a job I had. I was in education. I worked at one of the school districts here in Cleveland, Ohio, and the principal was this really cool guy. And he was like, he used to always tell the students, it's all about choices.
Mhm.
And then I learned, later on in my profession, I'm sure you're familiar with the choice theory. You know, we choose things, you also choose the consequence
Mm.
of that or whatever reward, right? So whether you get it or not. And so even like with this, man, like, people are making these conscious decisions to do and gossip and be in these spaces where they are breaking people down for whatever reason, and talking and speaking about, their lives when there is maybe something else going on in theirs, instead of getting maybe some help, or like we said before, using the energy to like help their situation, man. They're more focused on breaking someone else down. And we can choose otherwise. And I know it's not an easy thing to do, but no one said this was going to be easy.
Right.
All right. I just think that if you don't do it, it's a lot easier if you don't. But I think a lot of people like I think what you said there, I kind of, that's what you know.
That's what you know.
That's what you know. And I'm not excusing it. I'm just saying it's a reason for the moment.
And
But I will say this: if you have a brain that's fully functioning, just like we said, you have developed those unhealthy neural pathways because of your environment, because you've been in it all the time. I get it, totally get it. But just like we said, our brains are neuroplastic, right? So you can go and find ways to shift and get your brain healthier. So
Yeah.
it means I got to find maybe a healthier environment, healthier social circles, or healthier activities, healthier food, things that if you can. And so I know it's a hard thing to do. However, man, people do it all the time. You just gotta, figure this thing out, but we got to move differently in a healthier way.
Yes. Um, like I said, that this was something that was going to be real and raw, and to the point. Um, People, like you said, people can take it and use the tools to navigate to do better, or they can continue the spiral path, because eventually it's going to shift right back to the person who actually created the problem. It always does. It always does.
Yep.
I want to read a a short little um, summary or story, if you would.
Okay.
This is true. Dear everyone, gossip. Everybody loves to gossip. I have been guilty of it myself. It's a sad thing when gossip can get so bad that someone takes it to heart and believes what is being said about them. Less than a year ago, I tried to commit suicide because of the gossip that I was hearing about myself. If you didn't know my reasons and was thinking it was something else, that goes to show that gossip is hurtful and misleading and a misleading thing. Who are we to judge others for their actions? Who do we think we are? God? I think not. He is the only one who can judge others for their actions. What makes us so perfect and not prone to human error or judgment? The incident changed me as a person and who I am today. Since then, I have found that life is worth living and that my children are an important part of my life, and I wouldn't give them up for nothing. What people say or have said about me in the past and or present does not hurt, as I know who I am and I love myself. Suicide is a serious action that I almost succeeded. What would you be saying today if I had succeeded?
Hmm.
You most likely would have nothing to say because you all would have forgotten about me. To those of you out there who still like to talk about my actions and me, what business is it of yours? Were you there when I was feeling so low that life had no meaning to me? Were you concerned enough to look beneath the facade I projected to help me? Do you have something to benefit from my life? Is my life that much more exciting than yours that you have nothing better to do than talk about me or make up things to try to hurt me? Do your own actions make you any better? If my life was so exciting as I'm told it was, then I would like to know where I find the time and energy to do all the things I'm supposedly doing. If you need excitement in your life, then live your life to the fullest and not through mine. There is a saying, do unto others as you would like others to do unto you. I have learned this lesson and I hope you will too. Please, if everyone would just stop before speaking about another person, life would be so much easier to live. It also might save a life. I know I almost lost mine because of it.
Wow.
That was true. This is an
Wow.
honor.
Man. That's deep. And that's what we're talking about, man, the impact that has.
Yes.
Because I think you talked about like loneliness and hopelessness. Once you start to feel those emotions, I think that's when people start checking out.
Yes.
Right.
And this is why we're trying very hard to save lives and stop other people from potentially pushing someone over the edge.
That's the impact we have. That's another power I think we have. We can impact people in ways that a lot of times people don't even care about anymore. I think we got to start caring a little bit more. How about a little love? Little love. Just a little bit.
But love.
And I know people. Listen, I get it. I like you said, we deal with clients who weren't loved on early on. I get it, but you're older now.
Yes,
you can try it. We can try it.
But like you said, we don't tell them what to do. We just give them the tools to help them.
Yeah, for sure. And then kind of model it ourselves. That's why I like loving on my clients, man. So they get to experience a little bit because it makes a difference. So, but no, that's a powerful letter. Wow. So, gossip has that, and we have that impact on people. So, man, we got to take I think someone mentioned some of that in the comment. It kind of came up and went off. We got to be mindful, of those, the people we're just around and sharing stuff with or just experiencing, man. Like, and even how we impact them. What we got to say, like, you can potentially push somebody, especially if you don't take into account maybe what they're dealing with or going through, which most people don't, unfortunately.
Right.
You and I were in a space where we do that for a living. We take into account what you're dealing with. Yes, that's why what we do is so unique.
That is true. And
I'm not telling people to do that. Yeah.
We have to decompress through it as well. So we don't get caught up in the cycle of things. So it's important for us as well to stay in that pocket of, okay, try these tools. We're not telling you, do this. We're simply giving you suggestions of what may work for you. And that's what we can do. And that is part of what we're doing tonight. Free info. What they call free game. Free info. Sir says when engaging others, always consider what good can come from sharing that particular kernel of personal information. Stir says need to know basis is real, classified, not sassified. You know what, Stirs? you are on it. You are just on it. I'm going to bring up Dev. He came in a little late, but just kind of give him a few minutes, as we kind of discuss and can wrap some things up. I appreciate your time, Samuel. I know how it is to be work all day and then you extending your time this evening. We truthfully appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Hey,
what's up, folks? Hey,
hello.
man.
How are you?
I'm good. How y'all feeling?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
See, finally.
I know. I'm doing pretty good. Dr. Kisner?
No, not yet, man. Not yet. I'm working on it.
Hey, on your way, bro. On your way.
Come on, man. For sure. Good to see you, brother.
Man. Nice seeing you too, man. What's up, beauty?
Hi. How are you? Good to see you.
It's good seeing you too. It's been a long day, but what's up? I'm here.
I
look, I didn't want to disappoint you, so I hurried up as fast as I could. I have.
You are fine.
That's love, man. That's all love, man. That's what's up.
It is.
No doubt. What's up? What are you talking about? I'll just
So
go with
we
the
have
flow.
gone through, yeah, we have gone through as far as gossip. We've been talking about the chatterbox, how gossip affects other people to the brink of suicide. We talked about, the psychology of it, the impact of it, how it affects the brain, just different scenarios when it comes to gossiping. We talked about venting versus gossiping, where some people say, "Oh, it's just venting," but you were telling, "Oh, you see, what such and such did. You heard about such and such." That's what we were, kind of engaged in and breaking down, just bullets of giving some gems to people who may be going through um, that situation, and to the ones who may be the partakers of it,
Okay.
and protecting your energy, all of that. So,
Oh yeah, dope. It's like I missed a dope conversation, man. Sorry again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we've been getting it in, man. We've been getting it in.
I know y'all were. This your first time back in a minute? This your first show back, Beauty?
Yeah, it's been a while, man, for
it's been
sure.
a while, yes.
I don't feel so. I can knocking the rest off with me then.
We did one week before last. We took last week off because we were traveling. So today is really like the official one back to where we will be consistent.
All right, dope.
Yeah. Yeah. So
All right, you know
I
me.
can
Talking
read
about
some bullets where gossip being the subject of rumors can lead to feelings of anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. It creates a hostile environment and can contribute to a person's overall emotional distress.
Yeah, I agree with all that into the space, adding on to that, like the hindering productivity in the space of it aligns with depression, basic depression. All right. And I myself try to get into a space of gossiping and things like that. And I try to kind of get in a space where I don't participate in it all because of how it makes my spirit feel. You know what I mean? Like it's just uncomfortable. And it's a space where I work on, where I'm actually working on it, because it's in a space where sometimes things happen in a space and you want to just go like, hey, bro, da, da, da. But sometimes, it's not worth it. And although I get into a space where, I'm learning to handle God is working with my anger. I came a long way with it, and my frustration and how I handle things when things are like blatantly done in the FU way, right? And then it's talked about in the way of you were the bad person. Speaking from personal experience, like that type of energy, man, is heavy. You know what I mean? Even when it's not actively going on, you still feel it. So if you're walking into a space where people have been talking about, you can feel something like something a little off and things like that. You know what I mean? So it's for me, for like the last maybe 15 years since I've been sick, since I got sick, since I had my mental break, there were a lot of things that I said I wasn't going to participate in as far as keeping me in a positive mindset to defeat the bipolar symptoms. And and I've always tried to put it into a space where not to down talk the next man, no matter what's going on, because you never really understand the situation. So when it comes back and it comes my way and I hear it, I block it out because it's really things that it's really in the space of, for me, not watching violence on the internet. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm not taking it in, out of sight, out of mind, right? And a lot of times when you hear gossip, when you hear yourself, it surprises you because it's not even true sometimes. So you know what I'm saying? So I go by that saying where it goes, what, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. And it's hard today, man, because when you sit back and really look at it, when you take the it's high school in a broader sense. You know what I'm saying? Now, like, so it's the same clicks, it's the same, it's always so it just don't sit right with my spirit now. I think in a space sometimes too, like when things happen, it's in a particular season of a person's life, and by the time you meet them, it's not even in the space of not even that person anymore. And so what's that doing? Is that helping the person grow, or are you doing the part? Are you the crab in the bucket holding them back? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, Beauty. You know I'm a kick. You know, like good energy.
Yeah, I do.
And every point where it was unless, so it's just one of the ways where when I sit back and watch what it does, man, like it tears people apart, and so many, physically and emotionally and as far as their self-esteem. So it's detrimental to our society, and it's like a cancer. It's spreading.
Yeah, man.
Yes, yeah.
For sure.
Sam, what you? What's your
So my,
response?
Oh, nah, man, you nailed it on the head. I mean, we kind of touched on it earlier, man. It erodes, gossip erodes, man, just the trust factor, man. It's very divisive and it's just very dangerous, man. And like you said, I like the fact that you said, man, I just I block it out or I don't participate in that. And that's our responsibility. Like you can choose to like turn it off. You don't have to be around it, or you, like you said, you can block it out. And so it's just a matter of choices, man, and understanding, you know, kind of what's going on and who you're around. Like you kind of saying, man, like these cats over here are saying this and that. Like I don't want to be a part of that. Like I'm not. That's not like you said. That's not my energy. That's not my vibe.
Mhm.
I'm not congruent with that. I don't align with that. So why be around that?
yeah, and that's the place, man. It beats on your trust too. You know what I'm saying? Because even if you were, it's where's that coming from?
Yep.
You know what I mean? To the space where if we rock with each other like that, or we are in the space where we don't know each other, why would you believe that in the space of not just being somebody else's perspective?
Yep.
And it's almost turned to the point where it's you can't. It's deadly now. You know what I mean? To the point where look at what's happening on these songs when guys, you know, try talking about people dead homies and all that other stuff, and talking about what somebody dead, and like people are dying over this stuff. So it's no longer a sticks and stones or sticks and stones and break up bones, but words will never hurt you. You know what I mean? So it's and when you sit back and you see it in the school system and you see how it goes and you see the level of immaturity and what these kids, what they inflate.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like it's scary.
Ask you about that because I do know that you work in the school system. You work with kids. How school gossip literally can cause someone to really harm themselves.
Yeah. Suicidal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a place where, like I always talk about, kids down to the elementary school are killing themselves because they've been bullied or teased in school, or over here someone says something about them that isn't true. You know, so it mirrors what's happening with the adults. You know what I mean? Like, so if it's tearing kids down and kids don't even know what they're really absorbing yet, it shows that, like you said, the erosion of a society. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like a slow cancer, and then like, you're looking around and it's feeding to the angry fire that everyone's already has.
That is true.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it makes 100% sense. You know, that's.
Look, I'm trying to pause in between to make sure like I've been working on that.
You good. You know what? You have done so well in the last few years. Like I said, Dev, I'm proud of you from where you have come. I met you through Herbie. You came on the show. We didn't know each other, and it just, you know, you grew from there. And so, like I said, I am super proud of you.
No, I appreciate that.
To see, you know, when you see people evolving and excelling in growth, growth, it makes you feel good. So again, I'm proud of you.
I appreciate that, beauty. I appreciate that, y'all. I wasn't nervous tonight. I was excited.
You weren't. You weren't. That's why I said I'm like, okay. I see the growth. I see the growth. You ended up starting to scream. So yes, like I said, I am proud of the growth.
Yeah. So like, not to sound like off task, but with like in the school system, it's especially within the girls, it's fueling this. Like right now, I can't even say it's not even the guys that's getting violent. The concerning part is the number of little girls that are just out here whipping ass and pulling guns and mace and like without a second chemical, like bleach and stuff like that, without a second thought. And it's weird to watch because now you see more of the guys with the cameras out recording it, and there's a gang of girls fighting and thugging it out, all off of what somebody said. You know what I mean? So it's in the point where like in the school, it's a much bigger issue than the kids smoking in the bathroom. You know what I mean? Like it's something that you got to kind of get into, and that's where, you know, like God willing, you know, I have my own program now, the youth services program. So in the stage now where our goal is focusing on identity and then focusing on the symptoms of that at the very basic level, right? Just pretty much identifying what it is and calling it out and having a conversation with it at a basic level. So, but putting it in terms where I learned that these kids actually, if you're teaching them something, they'll sit there and listen, you know, and from elementary school to high school. So
True.
the problem is these kids are in a space where they're bored out of their mind. So you have no other thing. The devil's that idle hands is the devil playground. And that goes in the school system as well. You know, so when these kids aren't focused on their assignment because they're not challenged, it leaves more room for, hey, you see what girl, look what she got on, because they're not engaged in the classroom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just like looking at it in the way I see things, it's scary, man. And it's not just a breeze by subject where it's like we make it today. And it should be up there in the space of like, we need to attack this at the core. And it needs to be more programs that instead of funding these programs, my thing, right? There also need to be somewhere like reshaping civilization. You know what I'm saying? And having these conversations with these kids about what's actually happening, and not just in the sense of, hey, somebody committed suicide, or you talk about somebody's bad, they feel bad about that stuff. They laughing at them now. These kids are desensitized. You know what I mean? So when I look at it, at the kids being desensitized to what's going on, I watch the adults doing the same thing, and they're going off into a space where when you watch it, it's like when they see people who are on or down already, they smush them like an ant. You know what I'm saying? To make sure they go further in the ground and enjoy it, and like watching people squirm. I've never really gotten to that space. It's always made me feel super uncomfortable. You know what I mean? So when you start to understand it for what it is, when you start to understand like being on the other side of it, where you hear like you going from being like people just like loved you at one point, right? And then all of a sudden, just off of gossip, people was like looking at you like you like, oh, fuck,
yeah, absolutely, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That part, man. Yep.
That part right there.
Yeah. So
Doctor says not entertaining, much less soliciting gossip, goes a long way towards helping reduce your exposure. No one wants to share that hot tea when you won't sip.
yeah.
That
I like
true. That is true. Desensitized. That's a big one right there. Deb, you're very much right. People have just become desensitized to a lot of things. And like I said, I can't even, what you have shared before with kids. And we also know how they are now coming up in this world. They're not like how we were back then. A lot of children take things to heart, like you said. Now children that are in elementary school that are committing suicide, like how in the world do you know what that is? How do you know the act? Because they're being bullied or talked about, whether it be at school, on the internet, just family, those type of things. So, and like you said, you can already be down and out, and these, people these days are just literally just go ahead and just, take you out if they can.
Think about how scary that is, though. Like you said, right? These kids. Think about the level, the type of spirit that you're passing along. Like that, you're saying something, and these 7-year-olds and these 8-year-olds deciding, like, you know what?
Yes.
You shouldn't even, like you said, like you shouldn't even know this. Like, how do you know? So it's lately I've been on my Stokey Carmichael. You know what I'm saying? And the school, how I'm moving, because I've noticed that the school system isn't healthy for our kids, and it doesn't provide an environment that supports or encourages healthy relationships and things like that. And it's things they put up as far as like they coaching, but the schools are using it's like a flash flood across the United States where they're using particular mediation instead of suspending these kids. Now realizing that these kids are playing, these kids are smart. These kids know, number one, they don't want to be in there, but they don't want to get in trouble for not. They don't want to say nothing to the other person they got into the conflict with or what they heard about. They only in there so they don't get in trouble by that mom and dad. And once they get back in school, 2 days later, it's back in the same conflict, and the same cycle goes on over and over again. And these kids are not even getting slaps on their wrist. They just getting talked to. You better not do that. Go sit in the room for a little while.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So what I want to do, because we're getting thunderstorms here, and I don't want we've seen our little internet thing flash up, so we're going to kind of get ready to wrap up, because we definitely don't want to lose this live. This is a very dope conversation, very needed conversation, and it's an extension to the conversation, because It's like you said, Deb, this is not a one-off. This is not just, okay, we just talk about this and then, okay, we just move on. There's power,
Mm-hmm.
the life and death in your tongue. And like
Mm-hmm.
Sam said, not necessarily you speak it, don't mean so, but it can hurt others
Yeah.
to the point of they just say, you know what, I'm checking out.
Yeah.
And I have to work a little bit deeper with ones like that, to the point to where it's like, okay, do we make this call to get them admitted, or is this something that we can
Yeah.
navigate and work through? Because the one thing I don't want is for someone to feel like they're just hopeless. They
Yeah.
once had a reputation and they feel like their reputation is tarnished through others, you know, talking about them or gossiping about them or looking through and not maintaining their own mess.
Mm-hmm.
We all is starting. We all have mess that we need to take care of. So if we're taking care of our mess, we don't have time to deal with anybody else's mess.
Yeah.
So shout out to you, Deb. Thank you for coming through. We definitely are going to continue this conversation. Sam, I want to give you the last comment, and what you have to. Thank you for dropping the gems, and being here. Any last words?
Thank you again for having me. It's a pleasure always. Anytime, let me know. I would love to pop in and, participate in any further discussions about other topics. But just to kind of wrap things up with this, just kind of piggybacking off the things that you were saying, please be mindful of the words that we use. Like you said, words have power. They become powerful when you add some action to them. And so just be mindful and be careful with your language that you use, not only with others, with yourself as well, too. So thanks again, man. Coach Dev, good to see you, brother, man. Much success to what you're doing, man. Definitely good to see you, man. Would love to link up with you in your program if I can pop in and do some things with some of your students at all, man. I don't mind, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody for being on here as well, too, man. Thank everybody for tuning in.
Shout out to everyone being here. Like I said, the internet is starting to get a little choppy because we're actually getting thunderstorms right now. So shout out to my team, Fran, Brown Eyes, Stirs, for being here tonight. I truthfully appreciate it. If somebody could go ahead and put the raid up message, we're going to go over to, is DJ Lockdown on? We're going to go support him as he's trying to make his partner push. Can you see if he's on for me?
Hey, sorry for being late again.
No, you don't apologize, Dan. Good. So thank you, Sam. Thank you, Dev. You all have a good night.
You too. Take care. Thank you so much. Peace.
All right. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Okay. All right. Good night, y'all. Let me know. We're raiding over to DJ Lockdown. If everybody could jump on to support him. He's trying to make his move to get his partner unlocked. So we can go and support him for a little bit. Shout out to all of you for being here. Y'all are so dope. I appreciate you. We appreciate you. See you on the other side.
And when they jump so cute, and my people they go jump so cute.